Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Commander Pod, your Magic the Gathering podcast for all things Commander. I'm Spencer Simpson.
And I'm Kelton Howland. This week, we're going to be doing a retrospective on our first season of Precon League that we wrapped up recently. We're going to talk about our current season of Precon League, and we're going to discuss the decks that we're wanting to brew this year. We haven't really done that yet, so I wanted to catch up on a few things.
Yeah, a little bit of a three-parter. But first, we're going to talk about how our first season of Precon League went. For those of you who are new, we did a 12-week tournament where each person started off with a Precon under a certain dollar amount. So I think it was $60 for the first Precon League.
Yeah, it was either 60 or 65. I'd have to go back and look at the document.
So some of the more powerful or more popular Precons were excluded from, were not available to be chosen. Yeah. But we each chose a Precon, and then each week everyone got $5 of budget to make up to 5 swaps in their deck. Yep. The budget would roll over to the next week, and the swaps would not. So if I had $5 one week, I made 5 swaps that were worth $2.50, or even like 4 swaps that were worth $2.50. The next week, I would still only have 5 swaps, but I would have $7.50 in total budget to make those 5 swaps.
Exactly. And then competitors got 1 point for playing each week and 3 points if they won the game. So it had a very fun competitive slant to it. It was great.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was a little punishing if you weren't able to make it, which you know,
kind of by design, I guess.
Yeah,
we should talk about that if that was something that we felt like was good, or if we would change that.
yeah. But it was really fun. It was super, super fun. And what it really did, it did something similar to what CDH does, which is it gets rid of the Rule Zero conversation of, hey, what power level is everyone playing? Because we're all starting with Precons, and then from there, we are upgrading them so that we can play as competitively as possible. Yeah. The goal, the attitude was we're building as competitive of a deck as we can within the constraints that we have for the deck. And maybe we should talk about that, what the constraints actually were, outside of like budget.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we said and this is totally flies in the face of the bracket system, but it was as optimized as you could be within bracket 2, right? So no game changers. I think we said you could have 3 tutors. You could not have more than 1 extra turn in a row.
Yep. No 2-card combos.
No 2-card combos. Yep. 3-card combos only. Yeah. So no mass land denial, I guess.
But outside of that, there were no restrictions on what turn you could win. There's no restrictions on comboing as long as it was 3 cards or more. Including your commander could be included in one of those cards. And we also, I can't remember where we landed on like infinite mana combos, but I believe we said, well, if you just make infinite mana, like you're not doing anything.
Yeah, right? You have to have it. If 2 cards make infinite mana, you need a 3rd card that you can spend the mana on. That's a 3-card combo.
As an outlet. Yeah, exactly. So 3-card combos. And there are a lot of decent 3-card combos. A lot of the very popular ones we're learning in this newest season, especially around like graveyard synergies, have like Phyrexian Altar as part of them. And like they have like one of the cards in a lot of combos tends to be pretty expensive. And so you kind of have to get creative in finding the combos that you want to build your deck around, if you want to do that. Not every deck turned into a combo deck, but some of the better performing decks did end up turning into combo decks because it's... Yeah,
let's talk about what those decks were. The decks that we had in our last season of Precon League were Celeste, the Mardu Celeste, Angelo, Lathril, Zimone, Shiko and Narset, Winter, and Millicent. Those were the decks.
And it's the Duskmourn Zimone.
The Duskmourn Zimone. Yep.
Not the Quandrix Prodigy Zimone.
Yes, good call. Yeah, and the top 3 finishing decks were Celeste in first place, Shiko and Narset in second place, and Angelo in third place. And I believe that Celeste and Angelo were the only dedicated combo decks in the group, right?
Yeah, I think that's true. And the Shiko and Narset deck, piloted by our friend, actually did not get, I think he ended with like $30 of budget. Like, he not putting in tons
really
of upgrades.
Upgrade it very much. Yeah, it was very interesting, the play pattern of that deck and why it did so well. It kind of flew under the radar almost every game, and then was either and then was able to like burn out the last one or two opponents at the end of the game once everybody had spent their resources. So it was a very interesting play style that I tried to like lean into in this next season that we'll talk about. But I think that that's like a very good way to play the Precon League, is to like try and fly under the radar and have a deck that's not doing anything too crazy, but then be able to just like cast a bunch of spells and kind of finish off an opponent in the last couple turns of the game.
Yeah, it felt like some of the times that it performed the best would be like it would drop a Ghostly Prison or a Propaganda.
Yes.
And then just be able to kind of chill behind those for a lot of the game until and because I was playing Anhelo was the deck that I was playing, and I didn't have a lot of enchantment removal, and I wasn't attacking with creatures, and so it made it easy for Shiko and Narset to be like, cool, I'm just gonna like hang out then. I'm just gonna chill.
Yeah.
And it made it was kind of a difficult dynamic, because that's also what I was trying to do. I was trying to like be the control deck at the table, so it turned into kind of two control decks trying to fight against each other, but also control the table, and it was interesting.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So I played Celeste. Celeste was trying to be as turbo of a combo deck as you can be kind of at a Precon level. And I had a ton of fun playing Mardu combo. I didn't expect to enjoy that as much as I did. I should have known, because I love wheeling. I love wheels in Magic. And so being able to wheel with my commander and then just keep blinking my commander to dig through my deck to try and find combo pieces was very, very fun.
Yeah, and you were only wheeling you, which is really good. But what would have been very interesting would have been something like I think even with something like Wheel of Fortune in your deck, because of the power level we were playing at, it wouldn't be particularly punishing to just like draw someone a whole new 7.
No, oftentimes it'd probably be very good.
Yeah,
like for the opponent.
Yeah, really good for the opponent, but also like not on your turn if you're doing it proactively. If they're like, a lot of times people were tapped out, right? Because we were playing like in lower power, and so. As much as we were trying to make it as strong as possible, it was still pretty low power. And so I think Wheels would have done very well in that scenario, where like in CDH, a lot of people have tons of free interaction. And so if you're drawing your opponent's 21 cards, they're going to find something to try to stop you from winning a lot of the times. And so...
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so
less punishing.
What were your final thoughts on your deck? How did you feel about Anhelo by the end of the Precon League?
I was pretty happy with it.
Cool.
I think if I were able to, if it had gone a couple more weeks, I think Anhelo would have been able to do even better.
Yeah, it got really scary near the end. You were pretty consistently able to pull off your combos.
Yeah, there were a few. It was a difficult deck to pilot. I didn't. Between sessions, I was doing I was playing a lot of CDH still at the time. And so I wasn't spending a lot of time goldfishing the deck and like learning the lines and practicing the lines. And so, there were a couple times that I punted games that I think I should have won.
Sure.
I can think of at least one in particular where I, kind of tunnel visioned on something I just added that week. And if I just grabbed a counterspell instead, that I could have won the game off of it. It was Stormkill Artist. I grabbed a Stormkill Artist because like, cool, this is like a backup
remember
combo.
That game.
But if I had grabbed Goblin Electromancer to discount my spells by 1 instead, I would have won the game, because rather than having to wait for the treasure triggers, I could have just cast my spells for 1 less and had up enough mana to cast a counterspell to be able to keep going off. So it was really fun. The key combo that I played with this deck was Anhelo was the commander, because you get a lot of value out of doubling spells. But the way the deck was trying to win was through Cormella, Glamour Thief, and Saw in Half. And so if you have Cormella, Saw in Half, and then either Seething Song or Dark Ritual, you can cast your ritual, Saw in Half, tap Cormella for mana, use the 3 Cormella mana to Saw in Half Cormella, And then you get a Cormella Death Trigger when it dies from Saw in Half. You get 2 Cormellas that enter and 1 that dies to the Legend rule. So you get another Cormella trigger, and you get back your Ritual and Saw in Half. And then you have a third Cormella that is still on the battlefield that can tap to generate 3 mana again. That you can only use to cast instant and sorcery spells. So you pay 1, activate her ability, and ideally, and you're netting 1 mana each time you do this loop. And so you get infinite mana of Grixis colors for instants and sorceries, and you can turn that into infinite black mana or infinite red mana with either Seething Song or Dark Ritual. And then you can stop getting the rituals at that point and get other spells out of your graveyard, like draw spells with Saw in Half once you have the infinite mana. And then you can start casting Saw in Half and drawing your whole deck. And then you end up getting Maestro's Charm was a card that was just in the deck that drains people. And so drains the table.
Which you can cast infinitely.
Which you can cast infinitely. And so at that point, you just drain the table. So it was it was trying to do that. It played a lot of big draw spells. It played a bunch of interaction. It was like I was trying to double up. One of my first ads that turned out to be really good was Shieldred's Edict. Because if you can double that up with Anhello, then it's hits 6 creatures potentially, which is really good. I was really happy with that one. My favorite card that I think I added in the whole thing was Dark Petition.
Yeah, that one was. That one was sweet.
It was sweet. So Dark Petition is a tutor. It is 3 and 2 black for a sorcery. And it says, search your library for a card and put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library, which is, a bad demonic tutor. But the second half of Dark Petition says, if there are 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard, add 3 black to your mana pool. Which, again, is a 5 mana demonic tutor that refunds you 3 black. So it ends up being about the same cost as demonic tutor. But with Anhello, if you can casualty a creature, this is a tutor for 2 things that nets you 1 mana. It turned out to be very, very good.
For sure.
It was really fun.
Yeah, that's cool. I really love how your deck turned out. And I think you're right. If it had been a longer season, I think there's a very good chance that Anhello would have taken the W on that.
I was starting to feel pretty confident in it, and I think I got better at piloting it towards the end. I think it suffered a little bit from that and missing some pieces. Towards the end, I was like I put in Last Chance in the last week because I was like,
because you were so close to winning. So many turns. Yeah.
So I'm like, cool. If I just take 1 extra turn, I can probably win on the extra turn, even though I'm going to lose the game at the end of that turn. Yeah. So,
very cool. Do you think you're going to keep the deck at all?
It was so much fun though. I think I will. Yeah. Right now, so much of it is just like blank pieces of paper that I wrote the names of the cards on because at the time I didn't have budget to actually get the cards. Yeah. So eventually, when I do get the cards for it, I want to keep it all together. I think the problem is we've talked about this a little bit. It's hard to know where you would play this. Outside of Precon League, so we've talked about maybe upgrading him to like bracket 4, but we play together with our friends, and most of that's like around bracket 2, below bracket 3 potentially. Yep. And then when we had our most recent get together, it was still also bracket 3-ish. So I don't know when I'd ever get a chance to play that deck as a bracket 4.
Yeah, and usually when you're playing higher power, you're just playing CEDH. You're just playing bracket 5. So bracket 4 really doesn't have that much space in our play groups.
Yeah, not really. But it would be that I guess Anhello would maybe fall in that category where like I'd maybe just make it bracket 3 because it's got tutors and bracket 3 is allowed tutors, right? It's not playing and it's not playing any game changers. It's just like a combo-y bracket 3 deck, which maybe wouldn't be fun. I don't know. It's so hard to know. The brackets are so tough for me to parse still.
I do kind of feel like it may be time to do another episode about the brackets because I was so skeptical of them when they first announced them. And then I was like, hey, they're actually kind of working. And I kind of feel like at this point, we've fallen just back into right where we were pre-brackets with our play groups. Like, I don't know. Everyone's just kind of like, it kind of does some busted stuff. And then we shuffle up and play. And actually, that's a big reason. We can talk about this more in a minute. It's a big reason why I like the Precon League is like it is a solution to the Rule 0 conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I frankly felt more comfortable with our power level system, understanding where my decks fell, and even playing like suboptimal cards at like a mid-power deck because I was like, you know what? We didn't have game changers, but we had essentially shadow banned some cards as game changers.
Yeah.
And
at certain power levels. Yeah.
At certain power levels. And I do think Deflecting Swat and Deadly Rollick should probably be game changers in my mind. Like, I'm not playing them in my bracket 3 decks right now, but I probably should be just in every. Anyway, all right. Off my soapbox. I want to hear about the deck that you played. And your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so Celeste was a combo deck. Like I said, Celeste kind of does two things in the command zone. She allows you to wheel when you cast her and when she enters, so you can flicker Celeste to dig through your deck. And then she combos with persist creatures so that if a persist creature dies, it comes back without a -1/-1 counter on it, essentially. And so you're able to loop persist creatures if you have a sacrifice outlet. So the combo would be Celeste with a persist creature with either Goblin Bombardment, which is both a sacrifice outlet and a damage dealer, or a combo of both a sacrifice outlet and a Blood Artist type effect. Or you could have something really cool like Murderous Redcap, which does a lot of crazy stuff, kind of all on its own with Celeste. So there were a lot of really fun lines to this deck. When you said that your favorite card, what did you say your favorite card was in the deck? The Dark Petition. Yeah, when you said that, I was like, oh crap, what was my favorite card in the deck? And I think that this deck was when I truly became a Lively Dirge believer, and I think Lively Dirge was my favorite pick for this deck. I found it because it specifically can get Murderous Redcap. And then I was like, oh shoot, this actually does so much for this deck because I can grab like Murderous Redcap and reanimate it, or if I already have it in my graveyard because I wheeled it away, I can get like Molten Gatekeeper and put it in my graveyard and then get Murderous Redcap out and then use Molten Gatekeeper's Unearth ability to get it onto the battlefield for really cheap.
So good.
There's just so many really, really good things that you can get with Lively Dirge. So it's hard because it's a tutor, but I also want to play it in so many of my decks because I think it's such a good value piece. Like, if you're not playing a combo that cares about a creature with mana value 4 or less, or creatures with mana value 4 or less, then just put this in because you can just go get like I was gonna say a Grand Abolisher, but that's like a really spicy version of that.
Stormkill Artist. You go get it's a 5 mana Stormkill Artist that you can go get at any time.
Yeah.
No, it's so good. I mean, you put me onto Lively Dirge because I wasn't playing it in my deck, and then I was like, oh my gosh, Stormkill Artist costs 4 mana.
Yeah.
Cormella costs 4 mana. And that game that I should have won that I ended up losing was because my first spell I cast in the turn was a Lively Dirge that I was able to casualty with Anhelo.
Oh, yeah.
So I went and got Stormkill Artist and Cormella. And
which is crazy.
Which is crazy. Lively Dirge was so insane. Yeah, it's such a good card. And in your deck, you were playing so many cool layered combos that like depending on what you had in your hand, you can go get the exact thing you wanted. Or if like you could even cast just like one part of it, right? You don't even need to cast the tutor part if you've if you wheeled or milled stuff into your graveyard.
Yeah, it also gets Luminous Broodmoth, which is like a replacement to Celeste in the deck. It allows you to loop your persist creatures as well.
Which, by the way, I couldn't believe you could play in that deck. Did that come in the deck?
No, it was reprinted in Bloomburrow. It's only 60 cents right now. Luminous Broodmoth is only 60 cents right
to
now.
Me because it was like $20 when I first started playing.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, so if you don't have a Luminous Broodmoth in your collection, you should go pick one up because it is just a very good card. It's insane.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Why is it 60 cents?
I don't know.
Is there better stuff to be doing now than reanimating every creature you don't have and giving it flying?
I know. Yeah, for real, right? Yeah, actually, we'll come back to this card when we get to some decks that I think I want to build in 2026 because I want to find a deck for this card as in a theme that I'll share.
Yep.
Anyways, my final thoughts on my Celeste deck was it was awesome. I do want to keep a version of this deck. I probably want to build it at like bracket 4 and just try and make a Turbo Celeste deck, Mardu combo deck. And one of my other favorite cards that I don't think I ever actually got to play in a game, which is so sad, was Mardu Siegebreaker, which you can make copies of Celeste with and do a bunch of wheeling on your turn, which is something that I really wanted to do, but never got the chance to.
Yeah, I gotta say, so you never were able to play that one, but I do like the play pattern of making copies of Celeste, or which can be kind of expensive. Like I looked into some of the copy stuff because that works with Cormella as well as Saw in Half.
Yep.
And they're really expensive. The copy effects in red are so expensive.
Like Molten Duplication is like $12 or something right now.
Oh yeah, but even some of and Multiplication's like one of the best in class. But even like oh shoot, what's the 3-mana one that's like that is Multi-Duplication? But
Electro. No, it's from Foundations, right?
The original one, like the original.
Oh,
it's like one of the original
Heat Shimmer.
Heat Shimmer, yeah, Heat Shimmer. Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still like the cheapest version is like $4 still.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think the version.
Oh no, it was 10. No, it was 10, but it just got reprinted as a special guest in Loro and Eclipsed. That's that's why it's $4 right now.
Yeah, because it was like $15 when I was looking at it. Ooh, and I was like blown away. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's nuts. Yeah.
So
anyways,
they're expensive.
What do you think went well about the Precon League? After doing one of them, we are doing a second one. So it obviously went well enough that we are doing a second one. But what do you think went well in the first one?
I do want to answer that. Can I tell you something really quick about Celeste that I wanted to
Oh yes, please. Keep telling me how great my deck is.
So Celeste had lots of layers, was a cool Mardu aggro deck. What was so cool about Celeste was that I feel like you were able to just like hang. I mean, most of it was sorcery speed, unfortunately. Like you had to do it on your turn, which was a little bit of a downside of Celeste. But to some degree, you were able to just like sit back and hold up your man. Like you were playing a lot of flicker effects, which were acted both as interaction for people occasionally, depending on what they were doing, and also as protection for Celeste, but also flickering Celeste to be able to just like dump stuff out of your hand and dig deeper. And it made it very, very difficult to remove Celeste, who is a combo piece in your deck.
Yeah.
So, because you want Celeste out, or else your combos don't work, right? Unless you have Luminous Broodmoth, I guess. But no, not Luminous Broodmoth wouldn't work. You need Celeste to do your combos. Right? I can't remember.
You can use Luminous Broodmoth because when the creature comes back, you have it come back with
the Luminous Broodmoth trigger, not the Persist trigger.
Yeah.
And then you do the Persist trigger next time, and then you do. Yeah, that's right. So Luminous Broodmoth does work. But Celeste was one of your main combo pieces.
Yep.
And it made it really difficult to be like, okay, well, let's just remove Celeste, because you often had up mana to be able to flicker Celeste in response to removal. So it didn't make sense to use removal on Celeste. And then if you didn't, you wanted Celeste to die so that you could dig deeper for flicker effects to be able to like flicker Celeste.
Keep it going.
So it was like this weird catch-22 of like, you just had to hold up mana every turn and hope that you were like tapping out to push, right? But then you didn't have to because you're just sitting. And so it was like it was really difficult to play around.
Yeah.
And it was scary to pass the turn, especially to anybody, but especially over to you, because I was like, is he going to combo off at some point? The only time I ever felt comfortable was when I had like Rakdos Charm or
to exile the graveyard.
Rotten Reunion. Yeah, one of the things that would just like I could respond to the persist trigger, exile the creature.
Yeah, it was really easy, like frankly, very easy to bluff with Celeste, to like bluff a flicker spell or just be like, "Oh, please board wipe. Like I would love to wheel again." Just like it was very easy to politic the table to like say whether or not you wanted Celeste removed or whether or not you had a flicker in hand. Which was fun. It like ended
you did
up
that really well. I feel
thank you.
I feel like my poker face is so terrible. Well, first of all, I never wanted an Hello to Die, so I couldn't be like, board wipe, please. That sounds so good. I would love that. But also, if I was piloting the deck in your scenario, whenever I'm bluffing in any scenario, even in CDH, I feel like people can just like Rita, I feel like I'm the cat that ate the canary.
Sure.
You can totally see it on my face.
Yeah.
And you do really well. You play that really well. You're a
you.
good liar.
Yeah, I'm actually so not. So if I could pull it off, that makes me really
You're
happy.
very good at bluffing, though. You bluff very well.
Yeah, thank you. Crap. I feel like there was one more thing that I was going to say about Celeste before I moved on. If I remember it, we'll come back to it. Okay. So overall, what do you think went well with the Precon League?
Like we talked about, I really liked the way that it helped remove the Rule Zero conversation.
Yep. Yeah, everybody shows up every night to play and just like shuffles up. Like, you know exactly the deck you're playing. Like, the only thing that changes is what pod you're playing in for the night. And but like everybody has the same expectations going into it.
Yeah. There were sometimes discussions of like, hey, like I don't know how this raises your like win percentage. Like how like sometimes there were discussions around that of like
well,
because it was like CEDH mentality gameplay of like I'm trying to win the game. And so but at the same time there were no hard feelings. It was like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm knocking you out of this game because I will do so much better playing against 2 opponents than 3.
And also removing commanders. I feel like in casual gameplay it doesn't feel good to just like frequently remove somebody's commander. Just like over and over again, just target down somebody's commander. I don't think anybody had hurt feelings about that in this format, really.
Except for me that one time.
Because the lignify
that when Angelo got lignified, and then I it was a 3-player game, and I lost like 3 coin flips in a row for him to attack me with a creature that I could block with Angelo to get rid of the lignify. And he ended up having to. It was like the creature was forced to attack, and he chose the player at random. And 3 turns in a row, it was you, and I was like, no, it was so terrible.
That one was really rough. But I do think that in general, like people are like, yeah, of course you're gonna.
And I wasn't salty about it. I was like,
you were bummed
frustrated
about it,
at the situation, but
yeah. So yeah, I think that was really good. But you're right. There are some scenarios, like I think it was a couple weeks ago. There was a king making scenario where it was like it was the kind of place where you would want to call for a draw probably in a CDH game, but in this league it's like, yeah, maybe we should allow for that. Is that a thing that we should explore for the future? Is that something that you would like encourage the group to do? Is if there's a king making scenario that it's like, yeah, maybe you just call it a draw and everybody just takes 1 point and there's no winner?
Yeah, I don't know, because like
you would never do that, right? Like unless we offered 2 points for draws.
Well, so in like a CDH Swiss tournament, you would probably take a draw.
Yeah.
Because
you get 1 point for a draw, but you get 0 points for losing, right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly. So the fact that we're offering 1 point for just like showing up doesn't make that, disincentivizes that. It's so tough because there are rarely situations where there's like a true king making scenario. Because like even in that scenario, I think, are you talking about where it was this last
week? It was the Kaiser deck, right? I think it was like 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Oh, sure.
Yeah, and like it was like kind of king making. Except that I do feel like he was playing to his outs in that like you were like very much ahead and had the highest life total.
Yep.
And so was making deals with us of like, okay, you can't. And I had made a deal with him with like, you can't attack me. And he misread Kaiser and thought you could choose the same ability twice.
Oh,
be able to kill both of us, if you remember. Or Caesar or whatever. Is it Kaiser? I don't know how to.
I think it's I don't know anything about Fallout, but I think I read somewhere that the joke in Fallout is that they don't know how it's pronounced, so they say Kaiser, and that's like part of the joke.
Oh, that's funny. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't read his last ability that it deals damage equal to the number of attacking creatures. He had 1 billion creatures attacking.
Yeah.
And I was able to politic my way out of him doing the damage to me because I was like, it won't kill me if you do this damage to me. And you made a deal that you wouldn't attack me.
Yep.
And little did he know that my out was that I could Swords to Plowshares my own creature, which would have been not
sure,
very
to
ideal.
gain the life. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was like, it was like somewhat king making. I don't know. It's so tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the right solution is there. Because I guess otherwise you just try to play your outs and make a good enough deal of like,
which is what everybody's been doing. And so far, I don't think it's been a
Yeah.
problem. I think that was probably the closest game to like an
Yeah,
actual
to
king making
king-making.
scenario. Yeah.
yeah.
Other things that went well, I really enjoyed focusing on incrementally upgrading a deck week over week.
Yeah.
That was
Pretty fun.
really fun to just like really think super critically about 5 swaps over. For us, we play every 2 weeks, so it was over a 2-week period. I gotta like really look over a deck and just like agonize over $5 worth of swaps, and that was really fun.
Yeah. And like, what are the most effective swaps I could make
Yeah,
for this week? Right. Because it wasn't until I think, oh man, I have to look up the actual spreadsheet, but it wasn't until later weeks that I added Saw in Half for
sure. Yeah, you added Saw in Half on. No, it's actually on week 4.
week 3. Oh, week 4.
The
Yeah. So
third week
we
of
played
upgrades.
Yep. Same week that you added Saw in Half to your deck, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, which is like a third of the way through the league, right?
Yeah.
Was when I added in Saw in Half. So I didn't, up until that point, I didn't have a combo because I was adding in just like good cards like Deadly Dispute, Dark Ritual, Big Score, stuff like that. Cormella was already in the deck, and so I was just like hoping to get there at some point. But yeah, it was, and you also kind of had to game like, because you only had $5 of budget. Like, do I think this card goes up or down in subsequent weeks?
I watched.
Is this the best week for me to add this card?
Yeah, I watched these penny stocks on these cards like so hard. Like I was like, is this the week? Like, or is there a new set dropping and this is gonna get reprinted in the commander decks and it's gonna go down in price? Like I was watching them like a hawk.
Oh man, dude, we did this for a long time. This is
We
crazy.
did for really,
it
was July to December. It was 6 months.
Yeah, Poppet Stitcher was I didn't add until like week 5, and that was such a good card in the deck. It took me a long time to add a Poppet Stitcher in.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, there's some. Yeah, we added some cool cards. This is fun. I'm reading back through my old card list now. I shouldn't be doing that. Okay. Any other things that you think went really well?
We just talked about things that we thought maybe went poorly. I feel like we turned that into things we thought went well.
Yeah. No. We're still in. What do you think went well?
We're still in. What do we think went well?
Yeah.
It was a fun way to get people involved every week. I think in the absence of a Precon league, we had people coming and playing Magic all the time, which was still very, very fun.
Yeah.
But I think this was like a even bigger incentive to like show up and play Magic, which was great.
We had people larger, a more complete group come much more regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think that's true. Okay, let's talk about what didn't go well.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't ever do these. It ruins friendships. No, it did. And that actually is something that I think went really well. There were no hard feelings through any of this process, which was great. Even though it was a competitive format for an otherwise very casual play group, which is like fantastic that everybody was able to like turn that corner and get to experience competitive play, but not CEDH.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really, the only hard feelings I ever felt were like about myself, like messing stuff up.
Yeah.
Which like, every other thing was like.
Which can't be said for
great.
like just a normal casual night of Commander. Like sometimes like you're like, oh man, like they were playing this crazy powerful deck. It was so inappropriate for the table. Or like, oh man, they were like really socially gaming against somebody, like really spite playing against somebody. And it's like, we didn't have any of that. That was one of the pros. Of
Not a lot of that.
Yeah.
There were sometimes like conversations about like who's the threat, like what's going, like you shouldn't be hitting me because they're like obviously scarier or whatever.
Sure.
And sometimes those conversations are hard to have. And like can get sometimes like kind of intense, but it was never like so intense that it was bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
One thing that you mentioned that didn't go well is like to some degree, if you didn't show up, you were less incentivized to show up in the future because you were losing points every time you didn't show up, and it puts you further and further from the if your goal is winning the league, it puts you further and further away from the opportunity to win the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't show up for 3 of the weeks, I think, because I wasn't able to, and that put me just 3 points behind where I could have been. Like, and that's a win in one of the weeks, right?
Yeah,
that I could have been.
Well, it's not only a win. It's like you lose the 3 points for not being there, and then you give up a potential additional 6 points if you had won those games.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like a big swing.
Yeah, really big swing for not showing up. Because you won, I think, all the weeks that I didn't show up. Let me see. 1, 2.
Did I really?
Uh-huh. I wasn't there to keep you in check. 1.
That had to have been it. Wow,
one of the weeks you also didn't show up.
I think every week that you didn't show up, I did win.
Yeah, uh-huh.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Love it. Another thing that I don't think went well that we did change for the new one is we didn't randomize the pods. We just did it in seeded order. So it was like the top X players and the bottom X players. Those were the pods. And now we're shuffling the pods every time. So it's completely random. And that it just ended up that the same people were playing against each other kind of frequently because the leaderboard wasn't shifting around that much. And this has been much more fun. I think the new change has been very, very good.
Yeah, I do like that a lot. I do. You see more diversity in the decks that you're playing. And it makes it so you can't just like meta game against like, oh, this is the pot that I'm for sure gonna see. Yeah. You know, like you kind of have to like meta game more for like all of the players in the league a little bit better.
Yeah.
I do think something I've been bumping up against with the league recently that isn't necessarily something that is going poorly about it, but something that is like a struggle with it is that it makes it harder to invite other people to come and play Magic at our like semi-weekly get-together, every other weekly get-togethers. I had a friend come. I wanted him to come and play. It was his first time coming to play Magic. It was really fun. He had a great time. I was like, yeah, show up at 8. We'll probably be done maybe around then.
Yeah, because we start playing at 7 usually.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And our games didn't end till like 8:45 or 9. And so he was just sitting there for an hour. And I was like, it ended up being kind of good. I could like, while it wasn't my turn, I was like talking through the rules of Magic, which I felt kind of bad about because then I'm not like paying attention to like whose turn it is. And so it kind of, it's fun that it's the first thing we do every week. It makes it hard to get people to come and just be like, yeah, come play Magic. We're just going to play, you know?
Yeah.
Or if we wanted to, like, one of the weeks last week we played some CDH because I'm getting ready for a tournament. So I was like, hey, let's play some CDH. I want to practice a little bit. And it'd be fun if we could, like, spend a lot of the evening doing that or whatever. And so I think that is the only thing is it does, like, lock in the first hour and a half to 2 hours of whatever, like, every single time we get together, which I think has been very, very fun, but something that I'm starting to bump up against of like, oh, like it's kind of tough to fit other things
I think
in.
We've been better at like inviting people to like our other meetups that we do. But it is a bummer. It is a real bummer for like our bi-weekly thing that we do.
Yeah.
Anything else that you feel like didn't go very well in our previous format, our previous season?
I don't know if this is something that didn't go well. I feel like you and I were the only ones that really put together combo decks. And as a result, in the pod that was like usually the top players or the top performing players in the pod, the leaderboard, you and I were winning very often in those pods because our decks were able to like win on the spot with some sort of combo. And again, this isn't
the two combo decks out of 8. I guess actually we technically had 8, but 2 of the 8 were combo decks, and they ended up in the top 3.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's a bad thing, but I felt like, and I don't think this is a problem with the format necessarily, but I felt like not everyone was necessarily embracing the hyper competitive spirit of it or felt that same like hyper competitive spirit that you and I did, where we're beefing these decks up, like we're turning these into, if that makes sense. I don't know how to phrase that in a way that doesn't sound like bad.
No, but I think that you and I have a lot more context for high powered gameplay. Like
that's also true.
What performs really efficiently at higher power levels, because we've built at higher power levels more so than a lot of our play group has before.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I do think, though, the first season definitely set the tone, because we've seen a lot more combo decks in this next season.
True. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think people were like, oh, combo's really good.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, my deck is really struggling. It's having a hard time.
Yeah. One thing, and maybe if there's nothing else that you feel like didn't go well, moving into what would we change for next time, I think that people generally felt it was too long. Like 12 weeks, people kind of were like, I'm done playing this deck. It's not doing as well as I want. Or like, I don't have that many more things that I want to change. So we actually, in the new format, we reduced the number of weeks from 12 weeks down to 9 weeks.
Yeah, I was looking through my my updates to the last one, and we didn't play the last week or two because it was kind of over the holidays, so it was hard to. I think we cut it like 1 week.
We cut it 1 week short. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the last week, I didn't have any changes.
Yeah, I didn't either
before our last session, because I was
part of that was a little bit of metagaming, because the points were so close that it would come down to budget. That's the tiebreaker for points.
Sure, yeah. I don't think I was close enough for me. I wasn't close enough to you in points for that to matter.
Oh, really? For that to matter? Interesting.
Yeah, for the person in second place currently, it did matter.
It did
if
matter.
they won that game.
Yeah.
But I think I can't remember. You might have been already ahead, so I think it was just like, I don't think the budget ended up mattering at the end of the season necessarily. On the last one.
It was close for a little while, though, I do remember. And I think it will be close on this next one, because 9 weeks is a lot less. So I think the gap in the leaderboard will be much smaller in this new season.
Yeah. I just remember going into that last week. I was looking at my deck list and being like, I literally don't. But the week prior, I had taken out swaps that I had made earlier in the season. Like I had put in Archmage Emeritus and then taken it back out.
Yeah.
Because
I started doing lands.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna just throw in a Shattered Landscape and a Conduit Pylons. Like I'm just gonna start because I can.
Yeah, I probably should have started doing lands at that point. I just was trying to fit like the best pieces that I could in, and it ended up being like, solid. But
no, it was.
But
really
I
solid.
just ran out of stuff, ran out of swaps.
Another thing that we changed for this new season is we changed the budget on the starting decks to quite a bit higher. And a lot of that was just because we noticed that the decks that were more expensive didn't have to do with the power level of the deck, and more so had to do with the scarcity of the deck and how widely available it was. Because some of the most powerful decks are like these new Final Fantasy decks, some of the like Tarkir Dragonstorm decks. Like there have been a lot of, even like the new Lore and Eclipse decks are crazy, and those are really cheap because Wizards printed a bajillion of them and they're continuing to print them. Whereas like some of these like older Commander, 20 whatever decks are scarce. They're not printing them anymore. And so they're just really hard to find. So they're really expensive. So we increased the price quite a bit.
Yeah. looking at last season, looking at your deck versus my deck and the card quality in those decks
in the original precons,
in the original precons,
yeah,
is like disgusting. Like you still made the same amount of swaps that I did, but like, let me look through my side.
The cards that I was cutting after the first like week or two, I was like, these are totally serviceable cards. These are fine cards.
Yeah, these are like those great cards.
Yeah.
And I was cutting cards like Clone Legion, Army of the Damned, which were like decent, but like Call the Skybreaker is like a 7-mana spell that makes a 5/5 flying elemental, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like some of the cards in here were just like not good. And like you cut those the first week and then oh my gosh, dude, this deck was playing so much garbage. The deck is freaking sweet now. It rips now, but at first it was like felt rough. Really clunky. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else that we changed? I don't think there were. Oh, we added prizes. We added a small prize pool, just to like have a thing to like celebrate at the end. Like I had made like a few prizes to hand out at the end of the last season, just so it felt like there was like a close to the season. But we are sponsoring like a small prize pool for this new season, just so everybody can like walk away with something fun to remember. To remember the league by. So.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. You made dice for everybody too, which was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna try to make dice for every season.
Did Ryan show you the thing that he made for the dice?
No, I haven't seen it yet. He told me he was making something for the dice.
So cool.
Is this sick? Cool.
He'll have to show you. Yeah. So it's been fun because like everyone's getting involved with like.
Yeah. Like, someone a couple weeks ago was like, we should make jerseys. Like. Like we should make we're like everyone can make a jersey for their own commander that's like based on their own commander or something, which would be super sick. So yeah, people are into it, and I think that's really really fun. It's breathed a lot of life into our play group. For the new season,
do jerseys.
What was that?
I'm looking if Temu does custom jerseys.
Oh, nice. Yeah, check it out. Let me know. In the new season, the decks are Ishtola, Morska, Kaiser, the Wise Mothman, Zinnia, Teval, In Spirit, Flagship Vessel, and Eowyn. And they are all very scary.
Should we talk about what the precons actually are named?
Yes, I don't think I have all of them, unfortunately.
Scions
and Spellcraft.
Yep.
Deep Blue Sea. Kaiser
Deep Blue Sea is Morska.
Yeah. Crap, what's the Kaiser deck?
Okay, let's see. I got I'll look up
Hail
the
Kaiser,
Wise Mothman.
I think is the name of that one.
Okay, Wise Mothman Precon.
That's the Mutant Menace one.
Mutant Menace.
Yeah. Yep. Zinnia's Family Matters. Teval is... Do you remember what the Teval one is?
I'm looking it up. Teval.
Then Spirit one is Counterintelligence.
Sultai Arisen.
And Eowyn is the Riders of Rohan. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, or something.
That one is called... Is it called Riders of Rohan? Yeah.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Aragorn Precon.
Yeah, they're all pretty dang good. And Ishtola, that one now has a combo, even though it's not a very good combo. Does Morska have a combo yet?
It won with a combo last time, though, which was sweet.
Ishtola did, like, super late in the game. Like, so deep in the game. Ishtola is, like, all about just playing as many mass disruption spells as possible. And so it's just trying to make the game drag on and on and on and on until it can close out the game.
Yeah, though we did learn something cool with the combo that you did. Because it was...
I didn't realize that I could have stacked the triggers to make it a whole lot easier on myself.
Yeah, it was sweet. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's an Archaeomancer, Ghostly Flicker, like... you can use Peregrine Drake, you can use Gilded Lotus, and I was using Coveted Jewel at the time, and it was pretty sweet.
And the reason we were concerned about Coveted Jewel is because he was drawing 3 cards each time the loop was resolving, but it turned out that he could stack the triggers to get Ghostly Flicker back before he drew the cards, and then tap it for 3 mana, and then cast Ghostly Flicker in response. Yeah. Which is cool.
Kaiser, I don't think has a combo. Oh, did Morska? Did you put a combo in this yet?
Morska does have several combos in it right now.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
it has a couple.
So
I switched out Morska for Chulane. I chose the deck because Chulane was in the deck.
Great.
And so Chulane's the commander now.
Very cool.
And so it's playing a couple combos.
I don't think that Kaiser or the Wise Mothman has combos yet. Zinnia does have combos. Teval does have combos. I don't know about in Spirit. And I don't know about Eowyn. I don't know if there's combos in Eowyn yet, but that deck does not need combos.
Yeah, no, it's just that deck just beats
so
face.
Speedy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, how are your feelings about the current league and your new deck?
It's not done very well, I'll be honest. I won one of our first weeks. Maybe the second week, I think. The Teval is terrifying. The Teval deck has been crushing.
That one is for sure the scariest deck. And it's the deck that, even though I won last week, and the last two players in the game were me and the Teval deck. And it was close.
And he almost forced you to
draw.
If you hadn't found the fact that you could stack the triggers.
Yeah.
And he was able to find a mill spell, he might have pulled it out, trouble. which is scary. Yeah. I haven't played against any of the other ones. The Wise Mothman has felt decent so far. It really is tough because most of the time I played against it in a pod with Teval.
And it feeds Teval.
Which is tough.
Yeah.
I have been okay with Morska. I kind of liked Morska at first.
You got a win off of the first game, right, with Morska?
I did off of, or the second game, I think. But only because it was only because you had enchanted one of my creatures, and then you tapped out and drew Snuff out.
Yeah,
and
the creature was black because I had enchanted it.
But it was a black creature because you enchanted it. Yeah, and then I was able to equip a bunch of stuff to it, and then swing in and win. So it turned out okay. It's not. Morska feels way too slow in a semi-competitive format like this because
I'm very interested to see, because I haven't gotten to play against Chulane yet. Now that you've swapped, and I'm very curious to see if you feel differently now that Chulane is the commander.
I think Chulane will also feel pretty slow, to be honest. But I'm starting to put in more things that will help me get to a winning game state. Farewell got made a game changer, I guess we should say, for this season. And we're not allowed to play game changers. So everyone that had Farewell in their deck at the start or had swapped in for Farewell was able to get $5 for a one-time swap for Farewell.
Did we both swap in Avatar's Wrath?
No. I swapped in Court of Calling.
Oh, that's so gross. Nice. Yeah, and you know what? My tutor that I swapped in last week was Ringsight, which is a baller tutor if you are in Dimir. It is so good. And it is I just went and got Curiosity. There's nothing else better than Curiosity and Dancer's Chakrams in Ishtola in my deck right now. And so just being able to draw. Also, it was gross because I played in a 5-player game last time. And so I was drawing 4 cards off of every spell with Ishtola, which was crazy.
Yeah, I'm nervous to see how this one goes. I will say
I'm also nervous. I feel far less confident about Ishtola than I did with Celeste.
Can I tell you my most recent swaps? So my second week, my first week of swaps was just removal and ramp. Put in Avacyn's Pilgrim, Land of War Elves, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, Path to Exile. Right. The past 2 weeks have just been putting combos in the deck.
Oh yeah, I can see here. Wow.
Yeah. So week 2 I put in Intruder Alarm and Shrieking Drake.
Yep.
For Chulane as the commander, and I put in Kodama of the East Tree, who goes infinite with other cards that I already have in the deck. And then for the most recent week, I wasn't able to make it, but I put in White Mane Lion, which is just another Shrieking Drake, and then Sylvala and Village Bellringer, which is another
That's so
combo
good.
piece. So
That's
I'm really
so
excited
good.
to see if I can find some of these combos.
That's really fun. Yeah, my combo is a 4-card combo with Ishtola, Ghostly Flicker, Archaeomancer, and Mana Rock. And Archaeomancer does nothing for the deck outside of that combo. So it feels pretty bad putting it in, but I was able to pull it off because, like I said, like I just made the game go so long. Like the other cards that I'm adding are like Asinine Antics, Consuming Tide, Avatar's Wrath. I'll probably put in Aetherize. Like it's just like all these
Yep.
like mass bounce spells because that's what the deck wants to do.
It'll work great.
Yeah.
I'm seriously, because you're playing such a control strategy, I'm really seriously considering putting in like defense grid one of
Nice.
these weeks or
Cool.
something.
That would hose my deck really hard. Yeah.
It'd be tough. It would make it tough for a lot of decks to do pretty well.
Yeah. It's been
man,
very hard to tech against the Teval deck. That has been the hardest one to tech against because I could just play Rest in Peace.
Right. Or like Leyline of the Void, which would help you out too. Like
Yeah, but it would do
as a 3+ mana spell.
almost nothing else against any other deck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is rough. So it's like,
which is hard.
Yeah. No, I guess the Wise Mothman is also kind of a graveyard deck, but none of the other ones are.
Yeah, I've thought the same thing because this is how scary the Teval deck has been. Is that like I've also thought about putting specifically tech pieces in to stop the Teval deck. So like putting in Containment Priest because it plays like a lot of Reanimator stuff.
Yep.
Or putting in like Soulless Jailer as another like stacks piece, like stuff specifically to stop the Reanimate train because it's like it is really good. Because the deck just plays like Living Death, Victimize, like
the Living Death has gotten people multiple times already, which is crazy.
Can I tell you the hard part about Living Death with any of those pieces, even if it was like let's pretend that like Grafdigger's Cage is like Soulless Jailer but on an artifact, right? Kind of. The thing that sucks about Living Death with those is the creatures don't enter from the graveyard because you exile the graveyard first.
That's right.
And so they enter from exile. And so
it's like not, specifically you put them on the battlefield too.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah. We'll see. Yep. I'm very curious to see how this goes. Currently, I think the standings are Ishtola and Teval are tied for first place right now. And then I think that Chulane and Zinnia are tied for second place right now.
Okay, cool. That's good. All right. I'm not too far
behind. Yeah, and the gap is not very big between all of the decks.
That's good. Yeah. How much is Fairy Time Raveler right now? That would be so good against your deck. It's kind of expensive.
I love it.
Oh man, I need some sort of protection stacks piece on my turn.
I love it. That's great. Okay, yeah, let's talk about really quick. We don't have to spend a long time on this. I want to know what your deck building is looking like in 2026 because I remember I started off the year saying I'm going to take all my decks apart. And I have, and it's been amazing. And I've worried much less about the decks that are sitting in my closet because I know they're not there. I can't play them. And so the decks that I've rebuilt so far, or that I've kept, I have kept 2 decks because I consider them snapshot decks. They will never be updated. I built them both for December. I have a Radagast deck. I have a Rona deck. And those deck lists are just like point in time. I built them for a specific event and they will never change. And so those 2 are nice because I never think about them and they're just always there to play if I want to play them. And I really enjoy both of those decks. The 2 decks that I have rebuilt that were previous decks from last year and previous years that I've carried over and rebuilt are Korvold. I rebuilt my Korvold Foods deck, which will be being rebuilt very soon because there are so many good Jund food cards in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's going to be insane. And then Grima. I do have an updated Grima list that I'm still gold fishing, but I think is probably pretty close to what Grima is going to be for 2026, which is like a little more casual. Like it was already meant to be my most casual deck, but I've like even further stripped out some of the powerful things that it can be doing.
Cool. Do you feel like it will still play well, because I know one of the struggles with Grima was like it was playing some like decently powerful. Like Grima won a fair amount of games because it was still playing some decently powerful stuff in the 99, but it like really kind of folded to Grima getting removed.
It's still do you think the deck? I think the issue with the deck is that and that I'm comfortable with. Like it's a feature, not a bug. Is that it's very slow. Like Grima's a 4-mana creature. It does nothing the turn that it comes down. I have to untap and attack with it to like get anything, and then there's like a good chance that whatever I get off of it is a whiff. Right. So I put in a lot of cards that are in Dimir that kind of fit what Grima is doing, but are more so just like cards that are new that I've wanted to play that I haven't had a chance to play. Like the Speed Demon. We talked about the Speed Demon. I think is really fun with Grima because of the play pattern of casting the Speed Demon, getting your speed up and then attacking with Grima, which is unblockable, to then tick your speed up again. I think that's great. Another one, I wasn't playing Portent before, so I'm excited to put Portent in there. Go-Go, Master of Mimicry, I think is a great new addition. Gaunty Night Minister is one that I'd really wanted to put in the deck, but I didn't feel was good enough. And now I'm rebuilding. I'm like, I don't care if it's good enough. I just want to put it in the deck. It sounds really fun to play in this deck. So yeah, just more cards like that I'm like, yeah, this card is sweet, and it doesn't really fit in another deck, and it kind of fits in this deck, and I don't really care with how fast this deck is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you play, is it Mishra's Bauble? Do you play Mishra's Bauble in the deck? Look at the top card of target player's library.
No, I should put Mishra's Bauble in there. I do play where is it? I play Lantern of Insight, which is everybody plays with the top card of their library revealed.
Cool.
Which is very fun. And then one card that I put in and took out several times is Telepathy. I think Telepathy would be very fun in the deck, but it doesn't actually mechanically work with anything that Grima's trying to do. I just, once again, it's like one of those things like, I don't have this in a deck, but I've always wanted to play this card, and this could be a fun deck to play it in, where it's like, I'm not moving very quickly, so I'm at least just going to make everybody else worry about what everyone has in hand. So
yeah. You could instead of Telepathy run Glasses of Urza.
I could do Glasses of Urza.
Look at someone's hand.
Yeah,
and then you
Telepathy
kind of
is to do far better, but Glasses of Urza is really fun.
Can I tell you? I also feel like it's more flavorful for Grima because you get the information and you get to kind of whisper to the table, be like, "Hey, like they got this going on,"
The only way that breaks down is that people can just show their hands, but I do like the flavor of that.
But you're playing the part. You're playing the part of Grima.
Maybe I should. I have Glasses of Urza. Maybe I should just throw it in this deck because that is a really
I think that would
idea.
be very fun.
Yeah, that would be a good one. That one I'll have to make it in. Other cards or other decks that I'm considering building. So Corvold and Grima are the only two that I've completely updated that I know I'm keeping for 2026. I have those December decks. The other ones I'm considering building are a Bracket 4 Celeste deck, like I mentioned. I do really like the bones of that deck. I think it'd be really fun to upgrade. I want like a Simic or a Bant creatures deck, because I keep buying just creatures that I think are really cool, and I don't have decks for them, mostly in Bant and Simic. And I'm like, I just want a deck that I can just play cool creatures in. Like I just got the Blue Spirit after we talked about our card draw engine. So I was like, I just want a deck that I can throw the Blue Spirit in. And the one that I think would be the best commander for this deck, based on the list of cards that I have, the list of creatures that I have, would be Galadriel, Light of Valinor, which is just like a generically good Bant creature commander. And I also really like Galadriel as a character, and so I may just build this deck. It kind of feels, I don't know, I don't like how generic the commander feels, how like generically good the commander feels, but it also does allow me to just play generically good Bant creatures, which is like literally what I want the deck to be. It's just like generically good Bant creatures. So
I think
this may be the deck.
that's absolutely reasonable. I think it's absolutely reasonable for this to be the commander of the deck. I kind of be honest, I kind of like that Galadriel is generically good. They make so many cool commanders that they make only really good with the cards in their set. Or like a subset of cards in the set. And I like that Galadriel is like generically good enough to just like be a Bant commander.
Yeah, because like I could equally just play Tulane. Like it's like
Right.
it's a commander that cares about creatures and like benefits you playing creatures. And I think I like Galadriel as a character more than I like Tulane, and so like it would be just. And I have this Galadriel card, so I should play it. You know.
Right.
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've been thinking about doing an Avatar: The Last Airbender deck. I don't know which one I would build, but I like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I have a lot of friends and family who don't play Magic that like Avatar: The Last Airbender, so it could be cool if I was ever able to introduce them to the game, that I could be like, here, play this deck. It's like a character that you know and love, and that could be really cool. And there's a lot of very good commanders out of Avatar.
And they didn't make precons for the Avatar set, right? And so you'd have to like make them yourself. Yeah, that's cool. That'd be cool.
And then I guess Vihan is probably the only other new commander that I'm thinking about building. I've thought about building Vihan for a really long time. I think the issue with Vihan is it would probably be pretty good. Like I think it's probably like a bracket 3 deck, which we just don't play a whole lot of. And then the other two that I've considered rebuilding that have been existing decks at one point or another are Brago, and just trying to rebuild it to be more of play all the cool artifacts. Very similar to like my Bant creature deck, just an Azorius cool artifacts deck. And then Myrim, because I have had a Myrim deck in the past that I really enjoyed. I've collected a bunch of cool dragons. I bought the new secret lair that has Myrim in it. You got that for me. Thank you. And so I'll have the cool art. So I want to play Myrim. So I may end up rebuilding that deck too.
That's cool. Yeah, it was a cool deck. It was a very terrifying deck. And I think you'd be able to build it more responsibly
Definitely.
than when we first were.
Yeah, it was probably my most powerful deck at the time when I built it. I put of like I put Jeweled Lotus in it. I like Carpet of Flowers was like super hot and like cool and powerful in my mind.
Did you have a Jeweled Lotus that you were playing in that deck? I forgot about that.
I did. It was pre-Jeweled Lotus.
That's so cool.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yep.
I don't think I think I resolved the Jeweled Lotus like twice and a Mana Crypt like once. And maybe a Dockside once. Which is like
I had Dockside in that deck. Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm fine that those only resolved those couple times, but I'm also like, man, it would be they were fun. They were pretty fun in like high power casual if you weren't.
They were
like,
really fun
them.
in high power casual.
I don't know.
They were super powerful.
So good. They were so good. I had Jeweled Lotus in my Ratadrabic deck, who's a 4-mana commander with Ward 2.
Yeah.
So you just like
it's a turn 1 Ratadrabic.
Yeah, it's insane.
That one was insane. All right, what about you? What are the decks that you're looking at for 2026?
So, Garth. Love my Garth deck. I just made it a bracket 3 deck. I put in some game changers. Put in the One Ring, Seedborn Muse, and Smothering Tithe. Because the deck's pretty mana hungry. It does a lot of untapping, so it can abuse the heck out of the One Ring, and does a lot of untapping, so it can abuse Seedborn Muse. They may come back out. The problem that I always felt with Garth was like when I took those out, it couldn't play at bracket 3 tables. Really, I mean, it kind of could, but like.
It was like a turn too slow.
Yeah, exactly. It was turn too slow, mostly because like I dumbed down the mana base to be like pretty chill.
Yeah,
I took out like Burgeoning because I was playing bounce lands, and Burgeoning made them feel way too powerful. I'd kind of just like try to tune it down to be bracket 2, but it has like 3-card combos in it, but it still like did really well because it like the deck cares about abusing tapping and untapping and making a bunch of mana. And so it's basically like a Simic big mana deck that can play every color. And so I've kind of struggled with that one back and forth. I'm going to be doing some more tweaking of that, I think, in 2026, but it's my favorite deck. I love it. Sidri is the other deck that I'm taking into 2026. And that's kind of like the only 2 of my existing decks that I'm keeping around.
Sure.
And Hello, maybe I'll keep around. Tulane, maybe I'll keep around. It'll be tough to like decide where they land.
Yeah.
In terms of like if I want to keep them around and what bracket I want to turn them into. So like when I'm playing casual games, I think for the most part I played Garth and Sidri, and then occasionally have also played my Strephon Artifact Vampires deck, which
So I noticed Strephon is not on this list.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. So Sidri,
Okay.
I really liked. I originally built it for a budget night, and have made some slight upgrades to it, but not enough that it still plays like a precon level ish. Like we played it against the newest Jund like -1/-1 counters precon, and it performed at about that level. Like it was doing some like mean stuff. Like I got out a pretty early, metal work Colossus.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got out a bunch of. But my starting hand was land, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Wayfarer's Bauble. So it was like that was like the fastest start that deck could potentially like ever have, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to make some changes to it. This is one I want to keep around as like a bracket 2, like a fun bracket 2 deck. Because Sidri's abilities are so expensive, like mana intensive and expensive that it's not like backbreaking. Cool. I'm gonna keep talking about the other decks. I just want to say cool tech that I remember every time I play Sidri is that you can unequip people's equipment. So Lightning Greaves is ineffectual with Sidri because you can turn them into creatures and they fall off as equipment.
Yeah.
Yes, it is so fun. That is one of the best parts of Sidri.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
Sorry. Yes. So decks I'm considering building in the new year. Strephon.
Yeah.
Strephon. Not on my list. I am so on the fence. I think I might keep it around. I just bought a Vein Ripper, so I probably keep Vein Ripper and Strephon. I don't think I've talked about it on the channel very much recently. Strephon was one of my first decks that I built a long time ago. It was a cool vampires deck. I bought the Precon. I learned pretty quickly that it's not a vampire deck in the same way that like you had a vampire deck too. You had an Edgar Markov deck.
I did.
And they just are completely different vampire decks. And Strephon just doesn't care about playing small vampires. Like, you just don't want to do that at all. And so what I ended up doing with the deck is I'm playing a bunch of big vampires, and the rest of it is, like, artifact synergy and artifact pingers. And so I play, like, the deck plays, like, Alhemrit's Archive, and I play Duretti Scrap Savant so that I can, like, discard things to blood tokens and then activate Duretti to, like, cheat out expensive artifacts and stuff like that. Every time I play the deck, I play it and I'm like, this deck rips. This deck is so much fun. And then between the times that I'm playing, I'm like, man, maybe I should just take that deck apart. I don't play it very much. But it is a very fun deck. It is one of my favorite, I think, decks to play. So I might keep that one around and just make some slight updates to it. Maybe tweak it up just a teeny bit.
You should give it the love and attention it deserves. Rebuild it. Rebuild that deck. Like, just like make it, add in some new tech, like make it cool. It will take you all of like 2 days to rebuild that deck.
Yeah.
And then if you still feel the same way about it after like between games, whenever you play, then take it apart. But like, you should try and like, you have not updated that deck in a very, very long time. And I think if you felt like it was up to snuff, like for your deck building now, I think you would no longer get that like dip after playing it. I think it would like, you'd play it and you'd love it and you'd be like, oh yeah, this deck is great. And you would remember how great the deck is.
Yeah, I'll give it another shot. This is the deck that has irked Kelton for the duration of our friendship and playing Magic
it's
together.
so scary. Yeah.
Mostly because it plays 32 lands.
Oh yeah, and it performs every time, and it drives me nuts.
I don't think I've ever been mana screwed with this deck. This is one that keeps me on.
I don't understand it. I don't know how the math works out on that deck. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, it shouldn't work. It shouldn't work, but it does somehow. Oh, it's such a fun deck. Oh, I don't think my list is up to date. I have to update my list for sure. Oh, such a cool list.
Yeah. Okay, what are the other decks that you're considering building?
Can I be honest? I don't know. I have been most of my, outside of our Precon League, most of my energy towards Magic has been like dedicated to playing CDH, being really active in like the Tassiger Discord, and being really trying to figure out where I want my Tassiger build to be. And I found a pretty solid spot for it, I think. I think it's pretty solid right now. But most of my energy and time with my Magic engagement goes to thinking about like trying to like learn my combos better, figure out like what cards are like at like my bottom 3 cards, and like should I cut them. Like recently I just made a cut for my tournament tomorrow. Last week I made a cut I was on Diabolic Intent, and I cut Diabolic Intent for Nature's Rhythm. And I like it so far. I'm still evaluating like whether or not that's the right card in the deck. So in any case, I've been thinking a lot about that and less about casual, unfortunately.
Sure.
There's probably a fair amount of my decks that I'm going to be taking apart. I have to maybe play them first, because there's a fair amount that I haven't played in a long time that like I may need to give another shot before I take them apart. In terms of new decks, I'm considering building the Scarab God. I had a zombie deck for a long time.
An oldie but a goodie that we've talked about many times on the channel.
Yeah. I talked about it was when I first started playing, it was one of the popular commanders, and I always thought it was so cool, but it was like a $25 or $40 card or whatever at the time, and I was like, I can't. Like, I'm never building Scarab God. That's insane. And so I built Verena Lich Queen because I was like, oh, Esper Zombies is cool, and then I took that one apart, and then I built Wilhelt because it felt better, and I could kind of make it as like a casual Wilhelt deck. And then I took that apart to use the zombies for my like starter decks now. And the nice thing about the Scarab God is it's like not a zombie deck, really. Like it makes zombies, but it's not a zombie deck. And so I think it could be a cool Dimir control shell that does cool ETBs. I bought one of the cool Baleful Strixes from Bloomburrow, and I want to put that in there. And I have like a bunch of cool Dimir creatures that I'm using in my Sidri or Sidisi and Umori partner deck that I'd probably put some of those big Dimir creatures in.
That's another deck that did make the list, and that one sounds like it might be.
Yeah, I played that one pretty recently, and it's still a fun deck. I do enjoy that deck. It's a little bit feast or famine and doesn't interact the way that I like to. It's fun that it's only creatures. It just plays sorcery speed, which is like not really my jam. I like being able to interact a little bit more. I don't know. I have a Rada Drawback deck I haven't touched in a million years, probably taking that one apart. I have a Faldorn deck that I also haven't played in a very long time, probably taking that one apart. But I'll give that one a chance because it's my only Gruul deck right now, and that was a pretty fun one.
Tana
Tevish I played recently. I thought it was pretty fun. That one maybe sticks around. What I think I need to do really is go through and play each of my decks and be like, do I enjoy this deck? Should I just take this apart and put something else together?
We should do a Commander marathon and just play all of our decks at least once, and then be like, okay, which ones am I feeling? Very fun. Well, good. Well, thank you. I hope that you do find maybe a deck or two that sparks some interest for you but also, I mean, you're crushing the CDH grind, so kudos. And I know you're looking to maybe pick up a second CDH deck, so hopefully that's a good experience as well. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully there's some fun stuff in there. If you're thinking about doing a Precon League, let us know what decks you're building this year. I'd be curious to know if there's any others that I should be looking at. Make sure to subscribe, join our Discord, and until next time, remember to always pay the one.